Hey there, purposeful people. Welcome to video number 1 of the Creator's Journey Workshop. And part of the reason that we want to do this video is to show you that wherever you are right now with what you have already what it takes to get started. As an example of that, we usually do these videos at Matt's house, but the house got flooded, so now we cannot do it there. We went to a coffee shop, it was too noisy. We went outside, it was too noisy. And now we're here in the car.
Yeah.
So you don't need fancy locations or lighting or cameras to do it. You just need to have value, experience, and something to share that other people can implement to add value to their lives and to their business. So I know some of you that have subscribed for the workshop, some of you may have ideas and want to implement it. Some other, you already have a business going on, but you want to grow it. You already may have social media accounts, you maybe already have a website, but you don't know exactly the step to take to get to the next level. So part of what we want to do in this first video is to give to you the tools to develop that mindset to power through those obstacles, because it's not gonna be easy. That's something we want to make very clear. It's not going to happen in one day or two. Yes, we've been able at this point to make some small wins that motivate us to keep going and kind of let us know that we're on the right path. But to some of you, I know it might be difficult. So we wanted to share with you some of the things we've done and some of the mistakes we've made that have led us to those small wins.
Yeah, and that's what's so important, is this mindset is what's going to allow you to have the big wins. And when you don't have that mindset, that proper mindset of why you're doing what you're going to do or should do, it actually creates these mistakes. So for example, years ago, I actually went to law school, and I went for a year and a half, so 3 semesters. I was halfway through, and I dropped out because that's not where I should have been. And I didn't have the proper mindset. I was like, oh, I just want to make money. This is what you do after school. You go to grad school, get a good degree, and move on. Well, that was a terrible mistake. And it took me almost 10 years to pay off the student loan debt. So not only was it a bad mistake then, because it took a year and a half off my life, then it took 10 years, close to 10 years of actually paying it off. Currently with the business that Alejandro and I work on, some of the mistakes have been taking too many clients at front. So a lot of you guys are going to be in this situation. You want to grow, you want your channels to be big, you want your businesses to be big, you want your side hustle to be big. But what if you take the wrong clients? Then all of a sudden you're spending all this time doing things that you really shouldn't be doing, which you miss out on the good clients where you should be working. So I took on all these clients because I thought that's what I should be doing. I should be growing the business. And that really messed me up. So again, we're going to talk about this a little bit in this video, is that we are known as kind of the action item guys. Hey, here's the 3 steps. Here's the 5 books you should read. Click on this, do this. But at the same time, what people don't understand is that the mindset is the most important, and it's what we work on every single day. Both of us, it's usually in the morning that we're actively working on our mindset, which allows us to have wins. So with those mistakes that I've made, the law school, taking on too many clients, and working jobs I shouldn't have worked, well, at the same time, I've had these wins, right? Where myself and teammates, we placed 3rd in the world in a Google Online Marketing Challenge competition. We're competing against 8,000 to 10,000 other people. We placed 3rd in the world. Another friend of mine, we were on a team, we placed 1st in North America, 5th in the world in a competition with Capgemini, which is a global consulting firm. And with my business that I started, and now Alejandro works with me on it, is I've had close to 20 paying clients. Most businesses fail within the first year, and then it gets even smaller and smaller and smaller how many make it past year 5. I'm at year 2.5, and this is the most business I've ever had, but it's all because of the mindset. Every single day I work on my mindset and push away the bad voice, essentially, and work on the good voice, which we're going to kind of talk about how to do that, how to find your why. But those are some of the small wins that I've had that I can see are leading to even larger wins. I can already see larger clients coming in the next year, 2 years, and BizLatte is also growing faster than we could have ever imagined.
Yeah, that's right. And BizLatte is kind of like our side gig. It's the way you find us and found this creator's journey workshop. And it's amazing. At the beginning, it feels that you're putting a lot of work out there and nothing's happening. But recently, we were checking our analytics, and we've been seeing how we are outranking publications such as Forbes, Ty Lopez, and some Reddit posts and many other things, just because of the amount of work we've been putting. And I always go back to the question, if you would like to have a tree in your backyard, like a big oak tree, when is the best moment to plant that tree? Probably it was 20, 30 or 40 years ago, right? But then the second best moment to plant it is now. So a lot of the things that happen online, I remember I started the Instagram account a year ago just because I wanted to try some things, and now we have over 35,000 followers in all our social media channels, and it's because we started a year ago. And I know in a year from now we'll probably be close to 100,000. So imagine where you could be in a year if you decide to start today. And what we want to tell you is that the sooner you start doing something, the easier it will be to accumulate those little results that at some point are going to turn the curve and are going to create that exponential growth. So there are a lot of things, a lot of actionable insights that we could share with you about what are the best headlines to use, what are the hashtags you should be using, how to create easy templates on quote cards, and many things like that we know now that make the work easier, so you can start working smarter by doing the right things, but also harder by doing a lot of work in those things. And then many of the reasons that we do what we do is because we have a strong purpose. And there's two sides of having a strong purpose that it's important to have. Some people call it intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, the carrot and the sticks. There are many things. So for me, for example, and I've talked about this in many of the blogs, I come from Venezuela. My country is almost like a step away from being a dictatorship. I have family there. My mom had most of her life savings in Stanford Bank, and she lost it all when they did the scam thing. So for me, that's like, you remember Mario Bros, when you play those worlds that the screen would move? That's how it's been for me. So that's my stick, right? There's no way that I can say like, oh, you know what? I don't feel motivated to try to like do this today. Like whatever happens in my country and to my mom, that's just okay. No, there's no way I can stop. And then there's the other side, which is the motivations. Yes, I would like that blog to have 1 million readers, and I would like to have a big enough business, and that creates a revenue for me to have the freedom to do what I want to do, read more books, help more people, maybe do a TED Talk one day, write a book. So I have those two things, and it's important for you to understand what's your carrot, but also knowing what's your stick, because the carrot, when it gets hard, and when we're blogging 2 or 3 blogs every week, and maybe we don't have a lot of readers at some point, it could be like, you know what, I'm not gonna blog, I don't care about TED. So the carrot you can abandon, but the stick, it's impossible. So the carrot's what gets you motivated and happy. When it gets hard, the stick is what's going to push you to keep working no matter what. So there's some things we want to share with you so that you are able to find your carrot and your stick to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and this cannot be overstated how important your why is. And you'll hear it from everyone who's way more famous than us. Simon Sinek, going back to the Dale Carnegies of the world, and all these other individuals. Viktor Franklin, who survived the Holocaust. He was literally in an internment camp and was on death's door, but he survived, and he essentially said that a man or woman can survive as long as they have a why. So again, the action items are great. The headlines, the hashtags, the templates, get your website out there, get your business going, network, meet with people. Those are fantastic, but they all mean nothing unless you have a why and you work on your why essentially every day, because all of us are a little pessimistic, and that bad voice will kind of talk to you when you got to shut it up. So, for example, for me, my why, it's very spiritual, religious based, where I just feel like I was put on this earth to help people. So I was a personal trainer. I'd help people get healthy. I used to teach, and my goal was always to get students to a higher level of learning, higher level of thinking. I worked in a nonprofit. Again, it was to help people. I worked in Haiti, so I was in third world country, and it was to help people. And now with businesses, essentially help businesses and help individuals. And the reason I do this is, one, you have no idea how amazing it is that you're actually here on planet Earth. So when you think about the entire universe, as of now, it looks like it's expanding. So it looks like it's infinite. Whether it's finite or infinite, that doesn't matter. So in the course of the universe, there's millions and millions and millions of planets and even more stars. Okay? That's huge, right? Now let's get to Earth. So humans are essentially very fragile when you compare us to a lion, elephant, all these other things. But we're here. So the human lineage has survived famine and war and being attacked by animals and ice ages and all these things. The human lineage survived out of Africa and then moved out throughout the rest of the world. And your family survived all these terrible tragedies and you made it. So you're actually alive. The odds of you being alive are just so tiny that you just happen to be alive on this planet, and yet most of you waste your life. And that just, honestly, it bothers me. So the reason why I always worked with young people is that I wanted to show them that the amazing potential that they have in their life is something they can't even fathom. So we really like to pull that out, especially me. That's my goal. My goal is to pull that out of everyone, to realize, look around, look how amazing it is that you're actually here on planet Earth and all the talents you have. And if you're watching this, you have the technology, you probably have way more resources than people in third world countries. You can do so many amazing things. You can get your message out, whatever it is that you're doing. So that's my why. My why is to get that out of you. It's to teach you, to help you. So how do you find your why? So you're probably asking yourself, that's great. That's all fantastic. Yay, stars, planets. Who cares, right? You don't care about the universe. Well, so here we're going to get into some action steps. So let's talk about 3 things really quick. So one is, how do you find your why? So we'll use the Jim Collins model. So you guys know what a Venn diagram is. You have your circle, 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 and in the middle is kind of the central thing, right? So one thing you should be asking yourself is, what are you passionate about? And people throw around the term passion. Oh, it's overrated, it's underrated. Okay, it's important. What actually gets you out of bed? It gets you excited. You enjoy doing. So write down your passions. If you can't write down your passions, you have other problems we can talk about later. But you should be able to write down 3 things immediately. I mean, I like to work out. I like to design things. Like, I'm passionate about things, right? 2, what have you been paid to do in the past? Or what do you think you could be paid to do if you had the right training? There's certain things. I've never been paid to be an accountant, which is a good thing. Alejandro's seen my accounting. I think everything's revenue expense. You don't need to label it. No one's going to pay me to be an accountant. People have paid me to design things. People have paid me to teach. People have paid me to do marketing campaigns. I'm passionate about those things, and I've been paid to do them. 3, what can you be world class at? And don't let this scare you. If you're in the top 5 to 10% in the world, you're world class. So you don't have to be Elon Musk, who's top 0.0001%. You just need to be top 5 to 10%. So you get those 3, you start to line them, and in the center, you're going to find your why. And we have a free e-guide. We'll send it in this email so you can download it for free, and it actually lets you write it out. And you might be thinking, well, how do I find those 3? What am I passionate about? What have I been paid for? So here's where number 2, we fall into the Mark Batterson model, where it's really simple. Change of pace plus change of place equals change in perspective. So what that means is, change the pace of your life. If you're always going, take a little moment to relax. Change your place, i.e. go camping, go take a trip to Austin or drive somewhere else, and really just set aside some time. So remove yourself from your daily life, remove yourself from your daily locations, and start to write all those things down. Write down your passions, write down what you've been paid to do, and write down what you could be world class at. So give yourself some time. Give yourself, a day or 2 where you're not worried about your normal daily life, and whether you got to get a babysitter, whatever you have to do it. It's totally worth it. And then 3 is, while you're doing that, keep your values in mind. So obviously, Alejandro and I, freedom's way more important than material things, or else we wouldn't be in a car right now doing this video. We'd have an expensive $900 camera and lighting and all that stuff. Instead, we're in a car because we couldn't find any other location because house is flooded, all that stuff, right? So we obviously value freedom. But your values are totally different. Mine's faith, family, freedom, making an impact, helping individuals. Money is important, but it's not the most important to me. So you need to understand what are the values that you have on your life, because those go into your passions. And all of a sudden, these start to come together and you start to narrow in on your why. And once you know that, all the hacks, the action items, those are just added on, but you have to have that mindset first. You have to have that why first. And once you have that, then everything else just starts to fall into place, and then it's just execution. So those are kind of the 3 ways. The Jim Collins, the Mark Batterson, and then the Berkman, the values. Again, all this will be in an email, so you don't have to worry about it right now if you're just listening to it on your earphones. So those are the action steps for you to actually go find your why.
So that's step number 1, finding your why. And then what we're going to cover next, we're going to send all this information to you so you can be ready. And then we're going to cover the roadmap. Why the roadmap? Because there's probably somebody out there who already did or who's already doing what you want to do. And it's just smarter to follow their steps. Sometimes we think that to be world class or to be unique, we have to create something that nobody has ever done. A good example, for example, is Kobe Bryant. Everybody knows, there's even clips that show frame for frame him and Michael Jordan, and people say how much they look alike. And even Kobe Bryant, he says it. He says, yes, I was trying to imitate him because we kind of have the same style, the same body, and I liked him. So he followed the Michael Jordan roadmap. For example, when I was in my first year of the MBA program, Matt was in his second year. Matt won outstanding student, graduated at the top of his class. So when I was in my first and second year, I was always asking Matt, hey Matt, how do you handle this about the consulting club? Hey Matt, how do you handle this in the Google Online Marketing Challenge? Because I did that too. Hey, so many things I was asking Matt because he was just 1 or 2 steps ahead. You don't need to be the best in the world to help other people. So what we're gonna cover in the roadmap video, it's understanding a little bit of what's the game you're playing, what would be a win for you, and who's already doing that out there, who has maybe a website similar than yours, who has an Instagram similar than yours, what are the best practices in each of those areas, how to research hashtags, how to research the keywords you need to use, what are the best pictures you can use for your websites, and many different things that we're gonna cover. But in order to make it valuable for you, as valuable as possible, we would like to hear from you. So if you can answer to this email saying what's a business you're currently doing, or maybe what's a business you've been thinking about, or what's a creative outlet you've been thinking about. Maybe you want to do an Instagram to show your photographs, or you want to blog about a hobby that you want. It would be great for us if you can share that in a small comment, send maybe a comment on the video, or send us an email so that we can better understand how to help you in that next video. So stay tuned. We welcome any feedback that you can give us on this video, what was valuable, what you like, what you didn't like, and then also send us a little bit about you and your goals with this Creator's Journey workshop so that we can tailor all the information and add as much value to your journey. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.